If it seems you're waiting longer to catch the bus lately, it's because you are. Last week, the Milwaukee County Transit System slashed the frequency of public bus service due to an unexpected budget hole.
And one reason, riders not paying their fares. FOX6 investigator Brian Polson shows you the $10 million surprise he found in the transit system's own internal data.
If the public statements from MCTS weren't alarming enough, the internal numbers are even worse. But don't take my word for it. See for yourself. It costs $2 to ride a Milwaukee County bus, $1 for seniors, children, or anyone with a qualifying disability.
I'm getting old and I can't be walking.
And every one of those fares helps support a system that transports more than 20 million people a year to jobs, grocery stores, daycares, and hospitals. In fact, passenger fares make up 14% of the Milwaukee County Transit System's $150 million annual budget.
Please pay your fare.
But every day,
I hate the fact that ain't nobody paying.
tens of thousands of other passengers
Some of the people don't pay to get on the bus at all.
are getting a free ride.
Everybody run into a hardship sometime, but not every day.
Equipped with a hidden camera, FOX6 investigators rode buses across the county, and we watched as rider after rider after rider after rider boarded the bus without paying.
I'm literally going to work. That says I just don't have money to put on my card right now.
Some stopped to chat with the driver first. Others scanned a code that was audibly rejected, then boarded the bus anyway. But the vast majority of fare dodgers walked right by.
You know, say something. If you just say something.
Without a word.
It's very stressful.
Fare evasion is getting sudden attention after MCTS stunned the Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors.
Who dropped the ball?
With an unexpected deficit of $10.9 million.
I'm not calling it criminal, but it feels criminal.
What is going on here?
County Supervisor Sean Rowland says he and his fellow board members were blindsided.
So to not hear anything about that for what seems like several months was a huge misstep.
Soon after the deficit became public, MCTS CEO Julie Esch resigned.
I would first like to apologize.
Her successor, Sandra Kellner, said tariffs have jacked up the cost of vehicle parts. Paratransit costs are way over budget, and bus drivers are racking up too much overtime.
I felt that was extremely coincidental.
The union that represents bus drivers called the timing suspicious.
Right in the middle of contract negotiation.
But county board members say the deficit is real.
Millions of dollars are being lost, and it's putting stress on the bus system.
A January survey conducted by MCTS found fare evasion averaged 25% across the system, a loss of about $4 million per year.
I think it could be much more than that.
Our investigation finds it is more. On a recent weekday morning, I boarded a Route 12 bus from Brown Deer to Marquette University. In one round trip, I counted 54 riders who boarded, but only 31 who paid, a 43% evasion rate.
Route 33.
On Route 33 from Wauwatosa to downtown Milwaukee, 16 riders, 8 paid, 50% evasion. And the Connect One bus rapid transit line from Watertown Plank to the Couture, 45 riders, only 19 paid, 64% evasion. In fact, when a FOX6 producer and I tried to scan a mobile code at one bus stop,
Sit down. Sit down.
Okay, thank you. An impatient driver discouraged us from paying at all.
All their job is supposed to be is driving a bus.
Of course, our spot checks are just a snapshot of the problem, but MCTS's own internal data paints a more complete picture. Through an open records request, we obtained fare evasion data for the first 5 months of 2025. It shows that system-wide, fare evasion is averaging not 25% as earlier reported, but 33%. That means for every paying rider who boards a bus in Milwaukee County, 2 more get on for free. That's more than 22,000 free rides a day, or more than 8 million per year. At an average rate of $1.25 per passenger, that's more than $10 million in unpaid bus fare.
Are you surprised by the scale of this?
I think all of us are surprised by the scale of this.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley says it's a complex problem for the whole public transit industry.
This isn't something that's unique for our Milwaukee County Transit System.
MCTS says fare evasion here is similar to transit systems in America's largest cities like New York, LA, Seattle, and DC.
Have you looked into what other systems are doing about that?
Yeah, we know that some systems have their own private security.
MCTS does have a small private security force, but we didn't see a single officer on any of the buses we rode. As for the drivers,
I don't like people to just walk past me.
they're not even allowed to ask a rider to pay.
They don't want you to say anything?
Yeah.
If bus drivers aren't even asking for a fare, who's there to enforce it?
Well, I think that's the conversation that we're having right now.
In 2022, MCTS says it followed federal recommendations in changing its policy from ask for fare once to no longer ask for fare, a safety-first policy that led to a 42% decrease in assaults on drivers. But 3 years later, it's also led to a widespread culture of fare dodging.
We need to correct that before that culture becomes cemented.
Roland wants to see more private security officers on buses, but only if the math works.
You don't want to, spend $5 million on something that only gives you $1 million in revenue.
You don't want to throw good money after bad.
Exactly.
In July, he and his fellow board members directed MCTS to come up with a plan to cut fare evasion.
We can't have a bus system that's losing millions of dollars in revenue.
They have until September.
Well, I think it's extremely important that we wait for this proposal.
After all, budget season is looming, and Roland fears more service cuts could be on the table.
And that impacts families, that impacts people trying to get to work.
I pray they don't cut the routes.
Because I really need that 407 bus.
Please remember to pay your fare.
For the thousands who faithfully pay to ride the bus, that would be anything but fair.
Thanks for riding MCTS.
MCTS declined my request for an on-camera interview, but in an emailed statement, a spokesperson writes in part that they are working on a strategy that, quote, prioritizes equitable access, rider and operator safety, and long-term sustainability. Their 6-part strategy is spelled out in a new report now on file with the county board. It says, among other things, that MCTS plans to spend $1.1 million on security officers and $1.2 million on civilian fare ambassadors. Their goal is to reduce fare evasion by this time next year from 33% to 30%, a 3% reduction. MCTS says it is just an initial step in strengthening fare collection. That proposal will be discussed at the county's Transit Committee meeting this Wednesday, September 3rd. In the newsroom, Brian Polson, FOX6 Investigators.